Welcome back to Old Studio Car, the channel where history on wheels comes back to life. Today, we are stepping into a journey that is not only mechanical but also deeply cultural. It's about a machine that once connected people, a vehicle that brought families, workers, students, and dreamers together across neighborhoods, towns, and cities. Yes, we are talking about the classic vintage city bus from the mid-20th century, a true icon of design and public service. This bus you see here is more than steel and wheels. It is a rolling time capsule from the 1950s and 1960s, painted in cream and red, polished with chrome, a bus that speaks of an era where simplicity, durability, and style merged into public transportation. When you look at it from the front, the wide chrome bumper immediately grabs your attention. Unlike the modern aerodynamic designs we see today, this bumper feels like armor, built to last, reflecting light in a way that makes you think of old highways under the summer sun. The headlights are big and round, almost like eyes, giving the bus a friendly yet strong character. The rounded body design, with riveted panels and smooth lines, reminds us of a time when vehicles were made not only for function but also for a certain aesthetic. This bus was not just built, it was crafted. Walking along the side, the long series of windows catch your eye. Each one is framed neatly, lined up like a rhythm, creating an unmistakable vintage silhouette. The cream and red paint job is more than just color. It is a statement of identity. These colors told passengers they were boarding something dependable, something safe, something familiar. Imagine students with books in their hands, factory workers after a long shift, children peeking out of the window as the world rolled by, and old friends sharing stories while the bus hummed down the road. The side profile is not only long but elegant, stretching out like a promise of connection between neighborhoods and people. At the rear, the rounded design continues, with simple taillights that glow like tiny gems in the night. The chrome trim and the rivets are all still visible, showing the raw craftsmanship of the time. Unlike the plastic-heavy designs of today, this bus was pure metal. And that metal has stories to tell. Each dent, each mark, is a memory of decades gone by. Step inside, and you are immediately transported back in time. The interior is modest but functional, with long bench seats and sturdy grab bars. The narrow aisle carries countless footsteps from people of all walks of life. The smell of the old upholstery, the creak of the seats, the sound of coins dropping into the fare box, all of these sensations form a living soundtrack of history. This was the heartbeat of a city on wheels. Now, let's focus on the most fascinating part for many enthusiasts, the driver's dashboard. The steering wheel is large, dominating the view, a far cry from the compact power-assisted wheels of today. It was big because it had to be, requiring strength and control to guide such a massive machine. The dashboard itself is an array of analog gauges, each needle telling a story of speed, fuel, and engine health. Toggle switches, metallic and tactile, sit in rows, waiting for the driver's touch. The gear lever is simple yet powerful, a direct link between human and machine. Looking through the wide windshield, you can imagine what it felt like to command this bus, to be in control of something so mighty yet so graceful. The sunlight streaming in would reflect on the chrome details, creating a golden glow around the driver's space. It was more than just a job, it was a position of responsibility and pride. Imagine the sound. The deep growl of the diesel engine starting up, the hiss of the air brakes, the rattling vibrations as the bus rolled forward. These sounds are not just mechanical, they are music to the ears of anyone who loves classic vehicles. Each journey was accompanied by this orchestra of mechanical rhythms, a soundscape that is rare to hear today. This bus is not just about transportation, it is about community. For decades, buses like this carried millions of passengers through daily routines, connecting the working class to their workplaces, children to their schools, families to parks, and friends to each other. Every seat has hosted countless conversations, laughter, silence, and even tears. The windows have framed countless views of changing landscapes, from bustling downtown streets to quiet suburban roads. This bus was the witness of history in motion. Looking back at its era, the 1950s and 1960s were a time of transformation. Cities were growing, industries were booming, and societies were shifting. Public transportation was the backbone of urban life, and buses like this one were at the center of it all. They represented progress, accessibility, and unity. In many ways, These buses were unsung heroes, never glamorous like sports cars or fighter jets, but absolutely vital to the heartbeat of daily life. The engineering of this bus tells us something important. It was built for endurance. The heavy-duty frame, the reliable engine, the strong suspension, everything was made to withstand years of service. Unlike the throwaway culture of today, these buses were designed to last, to be repaired, repainted, and reused. And many of them did. Some served in one city for years before being sold to another town, where they continued their duty. Some became school buses, others were converted for special uses. A few, like the one we are looking at today, were preserved as historical treasures. The design philosophy was simple: functionality first, with touches of elegance. The rounded corners reduced drag just enough, while also giving the bus a friendly appearance. The wide windows not only provided ventilation but also allowed passengers to feel connected to the world outside. The interior was practical, meant to hold as many passengers as possible while maintaining comfort. Every bolt, every panel, was placed with a purpose. Yet, beyond the engineering and design, there is something emotional about seeing this bus today. It stands as a monument to the thousands of daily lives it touched. Every city has its hidden history, and buses like this carried that history forward. They were part of first jobs, first loves, daily struggles, and joyful celebrations. They carried generations, quite literally. For collectors and restorers today, owning such a bus is not just about mechanical passion. It is about preserving a chapter of cultural memory. When restored to its original glory, with shining paint and polished chrome, this bus becomes a moving museum, teaching younger generations about the past. Picture this bus fully restored, the cream and red colors glowing under the sun, the engine purring smoothly, the horn echoing across a quiet street. Children running alongside to wave at the driver, old folks smiling at the sight of something they once rode in their youth. That is the magic of classic vehicles. They don't just transport bodies. They transport memories, emotions, and heritage. In a world where everything is fast, digital, and disposable, standing in front of this bus feels grounding. It reminds us of an age when things were built to last, when travel was slower but perhaps more meaningful, when community mattered more than convenience. The charm of this bus lies not in high speed or luxury but in its authenticity. It is honest, solid, dependable, and in that honesty, it becomes something beautiful. The dents are not flaws, they are scars of service. The faded paint is not decay, it is a testimony of decades of hard work. As you watch this video on Old Studio Car, take a moment to imagine yourself stepping into this bus back in its prime. The driver nods as you drop your coin in the box. You find a seat by the window. The engine roars, the bus lurches forward, and the world outside begins to move past your window. You are part of a collective journey, a moving story. That is the spirit of this classic bus, and that is why it deserves to be remembered. So when you see this cream and red giant standing tall even today, know that it is more than just an old vehicle. It is history on wheels, a rolling witness of decades gone by, and a piece of engineering art that continues to inspire enthusiasts, collectors, and dreamers. This has been Old Studio Car, where every classic tells a story. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of a vintage bus. And remember, every old machine is not just metal. It is memory, heritage, and timeless beauty.